So we start out not just on the road, but we start out with 3 on the road. We start out at Minnesota, 8 o'clock on Thursday night, the 12th. Okay? So, dang it. Right off the bat, first game of the year, we won't be streaming Thursday night football, which that'll make Kyle happy. Because I'm looking at this from my stream schedule as well. Any Mondays or Thursday, anytime there's a football game on at night, when there's no Panther game, we're going to be trying to stream that football game. So that's going to be a work in progress. All right, so we start off on the road at Minnesota, 8 o'clock. Then we got Winnipeg matinee right off the bat. Boom. First weekend game of the year is at Winnipeg at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we are at New Jersey Monday the 16th. Then the home opener is Toronto on the 19th. Then we got Vancouver. And we are home for a hot minute here. This is such a weird beginning to the season here because you start off with 3 on the road. And then, we're going to get home the night of the 16th, right? We're going to fly home after that game, most likely. And then we don't go back out onto the road until the 30th. So we're literally going to be home for just about 2 weeks. And even though we only have 4 games, we play the 19th, the 21st. There's 2 days off. We play the 24th, play San Jose. And then there's 3 days off. And we play the Kraken. And then we've got at Boston. Now, looking at this, there's an opportunity to have a halfway decent start here. There's an opportunity to not have a halfway decent start, too. Okay? But, Winnipeg, Vancouver, San Jose, that should be points. Seattle, Boston, not easy. The Devils, not easy. Minnesota, Toronto, opening up with the home game, first game of the year against the Leafs at home. They didn't do us any favors. Notice what you don't see in the beginning of the schedule here to ours, Tampa. No Tampa at all in October. So I would look for this game, the at Boston game on the 30th. That will be the Flying Fluffy Halloween special. That's going to be fun. That'll be nice. Okay, let's go to November. All right, now we got some games here. Holy crap, we got a lot of games. Now, we got Detroit and Chicago. Now, remember, we had Boston here. We were at Boston on the 30th over here. So we got 2 days off at Detroit, at Chicago, and then we're back home. And then we got a lot of games. Look at that. Okay? From the 6th to the 24th. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games in 18 days. Holy crap, right? So October we barely play, and then in November, and we probably got more too. Yeah, we got more. The month of November is packed. So that's good. So they got us doing this crap again. 2 on the road, come home for 1. Back out on the road for 1. Okay? And then back home. That's the Paul Maurice special. I think they only did that now because Paul Maurice bitched about it so much, right? So we got at Detroit, at Chicago. Now look, this is if you look at this schedule, this is an area where we're going to be missing guys, right? At Detroit, that's not easy. At Chicago, Columbus, Washington, Carolina, Chicago, the Sharks, okay? That's a winnable stretch of games. That's a very winnable stretch of games there. We're going to be short guys, okay? It's basically every other night kind of getting into that playoff-ish groove. This sucks. This is Sunday at 1 o'clock on the 12th. Now, the Dolphins do not play there, which that's okay. But now, instead of being able to stream a random football game on Sunday at 1 o'clock. We got to watch hockey. And I don't want to watch hockey at 1 o'clock on a Sunday in fall. I want to watch football at 1 o'clock on a Sunday. But so basically, this day is going to be interesting, the 12th there. That's probably going to be a doubleheader. We'll probably do the Panther game. Well, yeah, we'll do the Panther game at 1, and then we'll pick a football game for 4, or maybe we'll do the Sunday night game. All right, then we go. Oh, jeez. Let me get a sip of drink. Then my personal favorite, the West Coast trip. And that last year, this became Kyle's personal favorite because he did those games. We'll see how it works out this year. It always depends on how I am feeling, right? Let me check this real quick. We look good, okay? Always depends on how I'm feeling. San Jose at 10:30 on the 14th. Then back-to-back late games. This is a family show, so I will not say what I think about that. At the Kings at 10:30, at the Ducks at 10 o'clock, 16th, 17th. Now, I will give the NHL credit. They gave us an extra day off. They gave us the 2 days off before we come back home, okay, on Monday the 20th against Edmonton. I'm not a fan of those West Coast trips. I mean, I know they have to happen, right? I get that they have to happen, and it's only 3. So, but man, on a personal level, on a personal note, back-to-back late games like that, expletive. Let's just put it that way. Just imagine all the cursing I would be doing about that and just insert that into your own personal podcast. All right, so then we come back. We got a nice week at home, okay? The 20th against Edmonton, 22nd against Boston, and then the 24th against Winnipeg. A lot of Canadian teams. And look, we'll finish it off here. We go back out on the road. Again, Ottawa, Toronto, back-to-back, and then Montreal. And that's so that is in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time, we have 2 road back-to-backs. Not pleasant. Not happy about that. Not happy. At least this is not. At least this is not the late games. Okay, but why not Toronto, Ottawa? Why we got to play Toronto? Well, not like Ottawa's a joke, okay, but playing Toronto at Toronto on the second of a back-to-back, good luck, right? And then we go to Montreal on the 30th. All right, let's see what we got for December. All right, so we just played on the 30th. Now we're at home, and this is a nice little stretch of games at home. We're going to get some time off. Excuse me. We got the Islanders Saturday at 2. Okay. Nothing here on that Sunday. That's good. Got 3 days off. Then we got the Stars and the Penguins. And that Friday, that's a Friday. So that's Wednesday and Friday. And then we get to the next week and just, I'm not happy. Look at this holy hell road trip. Look at this road trip. This is an ass kicking road trip, especially when you see what we have on afterwards. Even though we got some time off. So again, for the love of God, stop scheduling hockey games at 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. Jeez. So that's going to be another. What do you call it? Doubleheader. All right, guys. It's this game against Winnipeg. The Dolphins play the Jets on Friday at 3 o'clock. So we play the day after Thanksgiving. So the day after Thanksgiving is going to be a doubleheader. That's Dolphins, Jets at 3 o'clock. And then Panthers, Jets. Go figure. At 8 o'clock. Okay, so that's why I couldn't figure that out. All right, so we'll get back to December. This road trip, we got Columbus at 1 o'clock on a Sunday. I'm going to cover the game, but that pisses me off because there's going to be some good football games that day. All right, then we go on to freaking late games again. 4 late games in a row. Not only 4 late games in a row, but the following, this late game's got to be on a Monday night, which that's going to screw with if we want to cover Monday Night Football. That might actually end up being a doubleheader night. That might actually end up being a doubleheader night for us, where we watch 2 games at the same time. Because, I want to be able to, I want to do as much as I can while football is still going on. So we got Columbus at 1 o'clock on Sunday, and then Seattle on the 12th, Vancouver on the 14th, on the 16th we got Edmonton 10 o'clock. Jeez. And then on the 18th we got Calgary at 9:30. Then we can finally drag our asses home. Okay, we finally drag our asses home. We get a couple days off. We got St. Louis, and then those sons of bitches gave us Vegas on a Saturday matinee. Now, if you've been a fan of the Panthers for 5 minutes, you know what's going to happen 9 times out of 10 on a Saturday matinee game. And it's got to be Vegas. Thanks, guys. And now we get 3 days off. Now we get 3 days off. So we got 5 road games in a row, 4 of them late. We got the Blues, we got the Knights, and now we get the 3 days off. And we go on the road to Tampa, which finally we're playing Tampa. So we get the 3 days off. We got Tampa in the middle of the week. And then we got back-to-back at home. This is the only home back-to-back of the year, which is the Rangers. And then we've got Montreal the next day. And then the Dolphins actually play New Year's Eve. So that is the only home back-to-back of the year. Not a huge fan of the December schedule. Now, we get to January, and now here's where I'm really pissed. Because January is when the NFL playoffs are. Now, the last playoff game, or the last game of the Dolphins season, is January 7th. That means this Saturday is when the NFL playoffs start. And we've got hockey at 6 o'clock. Now, we don't have hockey the following Saturday or Sunday, so that's good. Okay? And then by here, this is, let me see, that's the first round, second round. Championship games would be here. So those are usually both on Sunday. So the only possible Miami Dolphins Panthers conflict during the playoffs would be this game here. Don't ask me what I'm going to do until it happens. I'm crossing my fingers that you would think that if the Dolphins make the playoffs and they have the option of giving us the Saturday or the Sunday game, they would take the Panthers into consideration, especially considering that's a home game. Cross fingers, cross fingers. Now, I'm looking at the January thing. You sons of bitches. Jeez, we just finished this, right? Look at this. We had this road, right? And the road game, 9:30. And I'm just realizing this. We get back to January, and you sons of bitches got us on late games again. Now, this is kind of good because I'm going to assume that towards the back end of the season, we're going to have a ton of home games, and you can see that start lining up in January. So we start off in January at Arizona, 9 o'clock. Then at Vegas at 10 o'clock. Every time we play Vegas now, it's going to be Vegas. Every time we play them. And as if, I'm looking at this, as if it ain't bad enough, then we go to Colorado, Saturday afternoon matinee. Against the Avalanche. What happens when the Panthers play hockey Saturday afternoons? Now, this is a little bit later, and for the Panthers, it might feel like 6, 7 o'clock. So that might be okay. And considering the ass whipping we're liable to take against Vegas, crap. Okay, so then we get a couple of days off. Got St. Louis, and now we're coming home for a long stretch with one exception. Just sons of... I'm laughing because this is just for Paul Maurice. I guarantee you this is only because Paul Maurice bitched about it so much. Loving the homestand. We got the Kings. We got the Devils. We got Anaheim. We got Detroit. We got Minnesota. We got Arizona. Boy, wait a minute. Wait, what the effing hell is this? Again, 5 games to home, so we got to travel our asses out and then come back for one more game at home. That's only because Maurice bitched about it. I'm telling you. Now, in terms of who we're playing there, I mean, the Blues, the Kings, the Devils, the Ducks, the Wings, Minnesota, Nashville, Arizona. There's some winnable games in there. That's another winnable stretch. And this might be when we start getting guys back. And we might be needing them after December and the first week of January here. We might be needing to get some guys back. All right, so we've got that homestand. And then we go and we've got back-to-back on the road. And I guess this is going to be the All-Star break here. I'll look and see what February says. So we got at Pittsburgh, at the Islanders. Okay, that's a night game. That's good. All right, and then we finish off. That's it for January. So I'm going to assume that's where the All-Star break is. Let's see. Yeah, because we don't play again until February 6th, and we're at home. Okay, so let me take a sip of water, and we'll wrap this up. All right, now I like the look of this. Because now we've got our guys back, right? We've got Montour back. We've got Ekblad back. We may have had Ekblad back long enough in time for him to be injured again by now, but technically speaking, he should be back. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really punchy today. Okay, so we've got the Flyers, the Capitals, and then you sons of bitches did it again. This is not, all right, this is not really a matinee, 6 o'clock, the Avalanche. Can't we play one of these teams, though, at a normal time? But we can't. Then we're going to get the 3 days off again, all right? And then, all right, at Pittsburgh, that should be a win, right? Like I'm just randomly, just like in the middle of the video saying we're going to beat the Penguins in February. Then we got the Sabres, and that could have some implications. Then we got Saturday afternoon against the Lightning. Saturday matinee, son of a bitch. All right, then we go back out on the road. No, we got home again for one, Ottawa, at Carolina, and then we got a nice little homestand here. Washington, Buffalo, Montreal. So this is another run of, look, if we're going to make the playoffs, if this team is going to get its players back and make the playoffs, I mean the Flyers, the Capitals, the Penguins, the Senators, the Capitals, the Canadians. I mean, those are all games we need to be winning, and then, we need to be splitting when you talk about Buffalo and Toronto, Tampa Bay, right? Carolina. So this should be a good month. It needs to be. Let's put it this way. Let's get to March. All right, we start off March at home against Detroit. And then we've got, oh, wait a minute. This is a second home back-to-back. No, excuse me. We're on the road, dumbass. I was going to say, where do we end up in February? February, we ended at home on the 29th. Okay. So March, we're on the road. We got Detroit. And then back-to-back again, the Rangers, and then the Devils in the second of a back-to-back. Oh, no. That's going to turn out the same. Remember earlier in the season when we had the Leafs on the second of a back-to-back? Rangers, Devils, back to back. Good night. Jeez. All right. I'm not saying we're going to lose both games, but, you know. All right, then we go home. We got the Flyers. We got the Flames on frickin' Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock. Then we get a couple days off. We're on the road again. Dallas, Carolina. And then what the hell is this? We got a home game against Tampa Saturday afternoon. We got 4 days off. I guess we're going to need it looking at the rest of the schedule. We got 4 days off, and then we've got a home game against Nashville. Then we've traveled to, oh, you bastards, at the Rangers, and then at the Flyers back-to-back. Another road back-to-back. Now, this is March. So we got another road back-to-back. Then one day, then Boston, Islanders, Detroit at home. Okay? So we finish with those 3 at home, and then April. Oh, come on! I am not a fan of this schedule. So we start April off. Now, where do we end up? In March, we just played every other day, so we got the 31st off, right? Then we start off 3 and 4 on the road. Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa. Now, at least this way, we get Toronto on the front end of that back-to-back. So that should go well. Ottawa, and then at Boston. At Boston on Saturday afternoon at the back end of a 4-game road trip, 4 games in 6 days, and we're at Boston on. Just forfeit. Just forfeit the game. Stay healthy, right? Just forfeit the game. Give yourself 1, 2, 3, 4 more days off. I mean, why bother showing up for that game? I'm being sarcastic. Give me a break. All right? All right, then we've ended the season with 4 at home. So we got Ottawa, we got the Jackets, we got Buffalo, and then we got Toronto, the last. So we start the home year against Toronto, and we end the season at home against the friggin' Maple Leafs. Do you think the NHL thinks that the Leafs and Panthers are going to be battling it out? Don't leave these guys out. Don't leave Buffalo out. I guarantee you Buffalo's got that game circled on their calendar. They only finished 1 point behind us. So, all right.